Master!
Hi everyone, Master here. The Hull C has now been released flyable to the 3.20 patch, which is currently in PTU, so I wanted to give a Hull C update. The MISC Hull C is the most popular hull version from the MISC Heavy Industry division that makes bulk transport ships. The Hull series ships carry all their cargo on the outside on extending spindle arms. The Hull C is designed for a crew of 2 to 4. With the cargo arms out, it has a length of 125 meters, width of 55 meters, and height of 55 meters. That makes it longer than the Caterpillar and Hercules ships, at least when extended. Compressed, it's roughly about 90 meters or so. The forward section of the ship contains the bridge in front with seats for a pilot, a co-pilot, and the captain. The cockpit view is a typical MISC wide window, but with better visibility than you have on a MISC Freelancer or Starfarer. The pilot flies the ship as well as controls the nose turret that has dual size 3 laser repeaters on it. The turret has limited turning ability though, so it's mostly used just as a front gun. There are no missiles on the Hull C. The co-pilot can access ship systems as well as control the 2 remote weapon turrets. The 2 turrets are located on the top of the ship, one in the front section and one in the back. Each turret has dual size 3 laser repeaters. There are no lower gun turrets on the Hull C, which is a big problem for defense. The original concept showed another gun turret on the lower rear section, but it doesn't seem to exist in the flyable version of the Hull C. Maybe that's a bug, but it seems to be intentional. The other problem is the co-pilot can only control one turret at a time, and no one else can control the other unused turret, so that reduces turret coverage during combat. The captain's seat has controls that also access ship systems, and is perfect for calling stations and other ships with. The seat is elevated compared to the 2 other seats, so you get a slightly better view around you. The bridge also has some computer access points where I presume you will be able to change out the computer blades to do different things, maybe even control the turrets. Behind the bridge is a hallway that leads to the rear of the ship. Off this hallway you have a starboard section with escape pods, one for each person on the ship. The port side section has a crew elevator to exit the ship with, as well as a docking port. The elevator is big enough for a few people at once, or you could carry some small cargo boxes. This section has a bit of space to store boxes in, but there is no official cargo storage plates, so cargo could roll around. The docking port here is used to dock with ships and space stations. As the Hull C is so large, you cannot land in a hangar with the cargo arms out, so you will need the docking port to access space stations. Docking with the port is a little tricky as the port is on the side of the ship, not the front, so you need to follow the docking computer guidelines very carefully when trying to dock. There is also an auto dock feature, but you have to get close to activate it. Also, in the front section of the ship, there is a ladder going up to the crew quarters. In the crew quarters, we have 4 beds, 2 on top of the others. There is also a table to eat or interact with, plus a kitchen with full facilities for cooking, although the cooking devices don't work at the moment. There is a manual processor access panel here, but it doesn't open yet. There's also a bathroom with crew stowage, as well as a toilet, sink, and shower for a single person at a time. It's not a fancy bathroom, but it's comfortable enough. On this floor, we also have the engineering room, where the engineer can access ship systems, as well as operate the 4 remote tractor beam turrets, one at a time. There are 2 turrets on the front section and 2 in the back, one on top and one on the bottom in each section. As of patch 3.20, the turrets don't do anything yet, but we should get ship tractor beams in a later patch soon. There is supposed to be a big display in this room that shows a camera view of the ship, but it doesn't do anything right now. It seems to be a static picture. There is no medical bay or utility room, so there is no official place to heal or work on devices. Anything like that will have to happen in the crew quarters on the mess hall table, or the ship will have to dock somewhere and do their work there. If you take the hallway in the front section, there is an airlock to get to the large tunnel for the spindle arms that can reach the rear section. This tunnel expands whenever the arms are extended. Just be careful walking in the tunnel when the spindles are contracted though. You could get pushed into a wall or the door. In the middle are 2 sets of collapsing cargo arms. When the arms are out, the Hull C grows to 125 meters long. The arms block the gun and tractor beam turrets from viewing past them. Next, we have the rear section of the ship. Walking in from the connecting tunnel, we have some random laser beam devices that don't seem to do anything. Maybe there are fusion devices for power or plasma power junctions. Most likely they are just Philips though. We'll have to see what CIG does with them in the future. From this section, there is a small elevator to access the 3 floors of the aft of the ship. There is also a ladder to reach those same floors if the elevator isn't working. The bottom floor is the main tunnel level. The middle floor has access to the larger ship components like the engines and shields, as well as a rear escape pod for the engineer. If you want to salvage ship components for money, this is the section to go to. There is a spinning fan-looking device here that doesn't do anything yet, but it's cool to look at. On the top level, we have the EVA deck where an engineer can get his spacesuit in the airlock and do work on the outside of the ship. Ship crew should keep careful watch on this door to make sure no interlopers decide to invade. The cargo capacity on the MISC Hull C is 4,608 SU, all external on the 2 sets of arms, and that is much larger than any current flyable ship. The Hull C can carry 144 32 SU containers. The cargo is all external, so you have to watch for damage or theft of cargo boxes from the Spindle arms by enemies such as pirates. There is no official internal cargo, but you can place boxes in any of the hallways at your own risk. There is crew stowage of 8000K micro SU, as well as extra gear stowage of 8000K micro SU in the bathroom storage containers. This gives plenty of space for spacesuits, weapons, and other gear, especially as I didn't see any weapon racks on the ship, but maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough. Sadly, I haven't found any vehicles that can fit in the crew elevator. The elevator entrance is too small for any vehicle to fit. You might be able to fit a small hover bike like the hover quad, the Nox, or even a ground vehicle like the PTV in the docking port doorway, but only if you can find a way to get a vehicle at the height of the docking port, or do it while in outer space. There is no ramp for the docking port. The Hull C has 2 large industrial-grade C shields, size 3, which are pretty tough to get through. If you expect to go into dangerous space, then upgrade the shields to a Class B or C for extra protection. The ship has a size 3 military-grade power plant and military-grade coolers, so they can take a bit of damage, but again, you could upgrade them to size A or B. The Hull C has 2 large hydrogen fuel tanks with 8.7 million liters of fuel, as well as a large quantum drive and quantum fuel tank. The fuel tank in the latest 3.20 patch was just upgraded from 11,000 to 76,000 liters of quantum fuel, so thankfully the ship should now have plenty of fuel to travel very far. The quantum drive is an industrial-grade C drive, which is slow, but it doesn't run through fuel very quickly. Just remember, refueling these fuel tanks will cost a lot, considering how large they are. Combat speed is 67 meters a second, and it has a max speed of 900 meters a second. Combat speed is quite slow compared to other current cargo ships, but the ship is very agile for such a large ship. The Hull C goes for $350 in time-limited sales on the website, whenever Hull ships are on sale. Now that it'll be flyable, maybe CIG will sell it regularly, but we'll have to see. The Hull C is not available for sale or rent in-game yet in 3.20, but expect to be able to buy it in-game in future patches. Right now, the Hull C has just a silvery gray paint, but if the Hull A is anything to go by, expect to see lots of paints for sale soon, especially when 3.20 goes live. So keep your wallets ready for these next couple of months, especially with CitizenCon and IAE coming up. The Hull C is well known in lore to have a ton of unique and interesting paints, especially by the less lawful crowd. The MISC Hull C is designed only for heavy cargo, but it's very good at it, with over 4,000 SU of cargo space. You can make a lot of money running cargo with the ship, even with low margin items, simply due to the enormous cargo storage. The large fuel tanks means the Hull C can travel far before needing refueling. Civilian orgs that want to set up large operations in faraway or remote places could certainly use a Hull C to carry large quantities of necessary cargo back and forth to outposts or stations. The Hull C only needs a small crew to run the whole ship to, so that can save you time and money. The 4 tractor beams also makes it easy for the Hull C to pick up cargo manually, without needing external ships. The Hull C would work well in picking up cargo boxes from derelict or disabled ships in space pretty quick, which would be useful for salvage teams or pirates. The large shields, big nose turret, and upper front turret also means the Hull C is not bad for breaking through blockades, as long as the ship has military support. The Hull C could also be used to transport boxed up ships and ground vehicles, so it could also be used as a ship transport to a degree. You just won't be able to fly the ships right from the cargo arms though. They will need to be unboxed and set up first. This applies to racing teams too, assuming they have time to box up and unbox their racing ships. Sadly, there is no way to attach snub fighters to the arms for ship protection. They'd have to be boxed up first, then transported. But the Hull C could carry a ton of snub ships for use in need at destination locations. So for example, if a space station needs a lot of snub fighters, there you go. Just keep in mind, owners will need a lot of money to buy commodity cargo for a ship that holds that much cargo. You'll also need a lot of money to refuel the ship too. You'll need to have millions in your bank account just to buy all the starting cargo needed to fill those arms. So this is not a ship for someone to start with from scratch. The Hull C is not well suited for combat and will need to fly with escorts or in convoys if it's flying in dangerous space. So protection could take away some of your profit margin. Weapons that can pierce shields would be the biggest danger, plus torpedoes and large guns. The lack of lower combat turrets makes the Hull C even more at risk at combat. Smaller fighters might struggle to break through the Hull C shields, but they can attack from below without danger to themselves, unless the Hull C pilot remembers to roll the ship often so the upper turrets can get some shots in. Hopefully CIG implements some lower turrets, but it may never happen. The slow speed of the Hull C means that it won't escape attackers easily, especially with the limited turrets it has. Finally, the Hull C cannot load or unload cargo automatically at any stations except for the cargo stations that orbit planets. You could manually do your cargo processes using tractor beams, but it'll be much slower. Also, only those cargo stations have commodity cargo for a Hull C, although hopefully soon in some future patch we'll be able to dock at refinery stations to pick up refined ore automatically. Until then, mining orcs cannot transport large quantities of ores with the Hull C or larger ships unless you get smaller ships to pick up the containers first, and then load the Hull C manually. Most importantly, you cannot land a Hull C at outposts with the arms extended, so that means you cannot buy or sell commodities at outposts. You'll have to get friends with smaller cargo ships like the Rafter Hull A or B to buy the cargo, fly into space, and then load the cargo on the arms manually, and then do the reverse to sell your cargo. Aside from those issues, the money-making potential and cool features of the Hull C make it an amazing ship to use in the cargo community. Hope to see many of you flying the ship in patch 3.20. Alright, so that's it for the MISC Hull C review. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can use my referral code if you decide to jump into Star Citizen, and you'll get 5,000 extra in-game credits. Here's a big thank you to my current patrons. I have a Patreon going for $3 a month and a YouTube membership for $4.99. All patrons and members will have their names listed at the end of my videos and get access to our Discord channel. Patrons and members also have first pick on the next item I'll cover. So feel free to sign up and let me know what you'd like to see next. Okay, catch you all next time.